In this video, we're going to take a PLC variable that has an analog input in raw terms, and we're going to scale user units in Blue Open Studio. So on the right here, we can see that I have a Schneider simulator going with Unity, and I've added a variable, and its current value is 4095. So we're going to mess around with this value and change it between 0 and 4095, which is a typical scaling that we see in a lot of analog values or analog inputs. Sometimes you'll see them at different values, 0 to 8196, 0 to 32,000, that represent the actual user units of the application. So I come over here to the left. This is Blue Open Studio. In order to make this work, I need to add a driver sheet that works with that PLC. In this case, it's a Modicom PLC. So I chose the Schneider driver. I could have also done a MOTCP driver, which does it in older 984 terms, which is the 0x, 1x, 3x, and 4x for the variables. In this case, because it's the IEC driver, I'm doing the %MW syntax for it. So I added a variable to this driver sheet, gave it the IEC syntax. I'm talking to my simulator, which is the Unity PLC. And I came in here. The next thing I had to do was check this box. When I check this box, I can leave this as default, the min-max up here, and every variable that I want scaled, I can put in a scaling. So I made it match what the variable is in the PLC with the raw units, 0 to 4095. And what I do wish is that they actually had a couple more columns in here. So this would be my raw units, and then a couple columns for user units, but they don't have that. So where we configure that is we come over into the Global tab, go to the data sheet, we find my analog variable here, and I make sure that I have the min-max columns here set. If they aren't visible, I simply right-click on the column, more columns, and I add the min-max columns that I do it. So if I come here in the application and I add 0 to 20,000, that is my user units, which should be scaled to 04095 in the PLC. So now I'm going to come back over to a test screen, and I'll start from scratch here, and I'm going to add a variable. First, I'm going to do text. Click on the screen. I'll add pound, 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 6 pounds. Enter. And I'm going to make it bigger so I can actually see it. Double click on it. I'm going to add a text animation link, and I'm going to point towards that variable that I just created in the Modbus, which is the analog scaled. So now if I save that with the button up top here, and I run my project, looks like I forgot to put the input enabled. I'll have to come back and change that. So I'll come here, and here's my development environment. I'm going to shrink that and move my PLC here. So here's my PLC simulator. 4095 is actually 20,000. If I come in here and make this half scale, you can see it change. And if I bring it back down to 0, I go to 0. So now in the Blue Open Studio, I can't input this right now because I don't have the actual application here. So I got to go to the development, and I'm going to hit input enabled. I'm going to press the save button again, minimize that. So now I should be able to enter that. So now if I do the 20,000 here, it shows up at 4095 on that side. So it's very simple to scale user units to raw value inside of a PLC. You just need to know to go to 2 different spots. Thank you.